To Scholastically Natalie, and we are continuing with reading in support of Black Lives Matter with Black-centric books and Black authors. So, we're continuing on with The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas with Chapter 2. Again, warning, this chapter specifically has descriptions of police brutality and gun violence. It is less on the police brutality and more on the gun violence, and it's more descriptions of shock than of blood and gore. But in case you have experienced something similar to this, or events like this might trigger you, you might not want to watch this video. When I was 12, my parents had 2 talks with me. One was the usual birds and bees. Well, I didn't really get the usual version. My mom, Lisa, is a registered nurse, and she told me that what went where, and what didn't need to go here, there, or any damn where till I'm grown. Back then, I doubted anything was going anywhere anyway. While all the other girls sprouted breasts between 6th and 7th grade, my chest was as flat as my back. The other talk was about what to do if a cop stopped me. Mama fussed and told Daddy I was too young for that. He argued that I wasn't too young to get arrested or shot. Star, you do whatever they tell you to do, he said. Keep your hands visible. Don't make any sudden moves. Only speak when they speak to you. I knew it must have been serious. Daddy has the biggest mouth of anybody I know, and if he said to be quiet, I needed to be quiet. We're going to pause here because I have watched the movie of The Hate U Give, and while they chose to open with a scene, basically a redo of this scene for the movie, it immediately warned us what the movie was going to be about. It was readily apparent that it was going to be about race relations and police brutality, whereas when the book begins, you have next to no indication that it was going to be about that, and more of indication that it was going to be about a struggle with identity, which it is, and which is the other plot that runs alongside the police brutality plot, both of which I think are pretty important to this story. Okay, we're going to continue on. I hope somebody had the talk with Khalil. He cusses under his breath, turns Tupac down, and maneuvers the Impala to the side of the street. We're on Carnation, where most of the houses are abandoned and half the streetlights are busted. Nobody around but us and the cop. Khalil turns the ignition off. Wonder what this fool wants. The officer parks and puts his brights on. I blink to keep from being blinded. I remember something else Daddy said. If you're with somebody, you better hope that they don't have nothing on them, or both of y'all going down. "'Kay, you don't have anything in the car, do you?" I ask. He watches the cop in his side mirror. Nah. The officer approaches the driver's door and taps the window. Khalil cranks the handle to roll it down. As if we aren't blinded enough, the officer beams his flashlight in our faces. License, registration, and proof of insurance. Khalil breaks a rule. He doesn't do what the cop wants. What you pull us over for? License, registration, and proof of insurance. I said, what you pull us over for? Khalil, I plead. Do what he said. Khalil groans and takes his wallet out. The officer follows his movements with the flashlight. My heart pounds loudly, but Daddy's instructions echo in my head. Get a good look at the cop's face. If you can remember his badge number, that's even better. With the flashlight following Khalil's hands, I make out the numbers on the badge. 115. He's white, mid-30s to early 40s, has a brown buzz cut and a thin scar over his top lip. Khalil hands the officer his papers and license. 115 looks over them. Where are you two coming from tonight? None yet, Khalil says, meaning none of your business. What you pull me over for? Another thing that I'd like to point out is I do appreciate, even though I did understand the slang in this part, the clarification of what Nunya means, because I suppose if you're naive enough, you might think that it's an actual place. But it also just opens up a nice ease of communication between people who might not understand slang. And it is done very smoothly in this segment, and I think it works quite well for the author. Your taillight's broken. So are you gonna give me a ticket or what? Khalil asks. You know what? Get out the car, smart guy. Man, just give me my ticket. Get out the car. Hands up where I can see them. Khalil gets out with his hands up. 115 yanks him by his arm and pins him against the back door. I fight to find my voice. He didn't mean, hands on the dashboard, the officer barks at me. Don't move. I do what he tells me, but my hands are shaking too much to be still. He pats Khalil down. Okay, smart mouth, let's see what we find on you today. You ain't gonna find nothing, Khalil says. 115 pats him down 2 more times. He turns up empty. Stay here, he tells Khalil. And you, he looks in the window at me, don't move. I can't even nod. The officer walks back to his patrol car. My parents haven't raised me to fear the police, just to be smart around them. They told me it's not smart to move while a cop has his back to you. Khalil does. He comes to his door. It's not smart to make a sudden move. Khalil does. He opens the driver's door. You okay, Star? Pow. 1. Khalil's body jerks. Blood spatters from his back. He holds onto the door to keep himself upright. Pow. 2. Khalil gasps. Pow. 3. Khalil looks at me, stunned. He falls to the ground. I'm 10 again, watching Natasha drop. An ear-splitting scream emerges from my gut, explodes in my throat, and it uses every inch of me to be heard. Instinct says don't move, but everything else says check on Khalil. I jump out the Impala and rush around to the other side. Khalil stares at the sky as if he hopes to see God. His mouth is open like he wants to scream. I scream loud enough for the both of us. No, 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 is all I can say, like I'm a year old and it's the only word I know. I'm not sure how I end up on the ground next to him. My mom once said that if someone gets shot, try to stop the bleeding, but there's so much blood. Too much blood. No, no, no. Khalil doesn't move. He doesn't utter a word. He doesn't even look at me. His body stiffens and he's gone. I hope he sees God. Someone else screams. I blink through my tears. Officer 115 yells at me, pointing the same gun he killed my friend with. I put my hands up. And that's the end of chapter 2. Well, in conclusion, I think this is a really well-written chapter, mostly because The Hate U Give is supposed to be a young adult novel, and if it had, like, visceral description of gore and, like, what, you know, getting shot looks like, it probably wouldn't be able to retain that rating. And secondly, I definitely think that going the less bloody route does what this chapter sets out to do, which is describe the horror of the bystanders, and, like, the shock and the panic at their experience, and of those who know the victim of incidents like this. I definitely think that this was written well and with intention, and it certainly accomplishes what it sets out to do. And that's the end of chapter 2. It's really not a very long chapter because enough happens in it to fill probably 5 pages, but it's like 30 pages long with emotional weight. So, if you want to support Black Lives Matter, you can donate to the Bail Project or the ACLU, both of which are working to help protesters in pretty different ways, but they're both being pretty effective. Or lastly, you can check out the Black Lives Matter website and see what they offer as advice. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed, or at least got something good out of this video. And I'll see you guys next time. Scholastically Natalie, out.